Hey guys, Lee from Overbite Gaming here, and I'm not really doing a targeted video today. I had a number of things I wanted to talk about, so I figured why not just talk about all of them rather than try and eke them out doing numerous videos, although, you know, always crying out for video subjects. So let me start off by saying Persona 4 Golden has hit Steam, £15 for one of the best Japanese RPGs on the market, and I'm including its sequel Persona 5 in that, which is a great game, love it, but Persona 4 for me is easily better. I just like the characters better. It's harder, although I think I haven't played Golden before purchasing it on Steam, but on the PS2 version it was brutal. It's like Shadow Yukiko kicked my ass. On this, I haven't got to it yet, but it does seem easier in the early going, so I guess we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. But it's a fantastic game. It's 15 quid on Steam. It runs pretty fine. I did have some, whoops, bump the mic in my excitement. I did have some problems with getting it to stay full screen and stuff, but after the first time it binned itself, then it came back and it remembered all the settings and it was fine. So I'm running what's essentially an upscale PS2 game at 1440p, and it looks great and it plays great, and it's the Persona I remember. And yeah, get Persona, 15 quid, can't go wrong. I also want to talk about Stubbs the Zombie. Now, for those of you, which probably won't constitute many of you, that listened to my last video, I said I'd try and get Stubbs the Zombie. So I went on eBay that night actually, trying to find it, and PC versions were around £65, used. £65, so that's more than Cyberpunk will be. That's more than in most AAA games if you get the standard edition. You know, unlike Snow getting his stupid statues and all that, and art books and things that he's just going to throw in a cupboard and ignore. But yeah, so I was not really feeling it, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm lucky I'm not on Mac. I looked at the Mac ones because they're in the same listing, and they're like 250 quid. It's just like, what? Oh my god. But yesterday, in fact, I did a random little Google search, and it took me to a YouTube listing, oh my lord, an eBay listing for the game, and it was $19.99. So I have purchased it. It is dispatched and on its way, and I will at some point be doing a Stubbs Let's Play because I fucking love Stubbs, and not enough people know about it, man. It's just one of the best games ever. It's funny, nothing like having a horde of zombies backing you up and creating more zombies, and it's zombie apocalypse, but it's on your side. It's amazing. I love it. Moving on, I found out literally when I woke up this morning, I think it was about half six, I sent a message to Slayer. Cyberpunk's been delayed, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been pushed back to November. Disappointed, yes, because obviously I'm looking forward to that now. I mean, I wasn't too hyped to begin with, but as the months pass, I'm definitely getting more hype, especially since I upgraded my PC. I can run it like top whack. So I'm really looking forward to getting hold of it. And to see it pop back another couple of months it's frustrating, but I trust CD Projekt Red in what they're doing. They say they need to go through it properly and make sure everything's okay and iron out a few bugs. It's a big game with a lot of complexity and depth to it, so you know you're gonna have bugs. I get it. It's just disappointing. I mean, would I rather they stick to the September date and get a buggy game? I guess my question would be how buggy, you know? If it's just stuff that's not really going to bother me, then I might say yes. But if it's stuff that takes me out of the experience, then no. Obviously finish it, get it all sorted out, and release it in November when you're happy with it. And on to the last thing I wanted to talk about, which is not just the last thing, but it's The Last of Us 2. This has now released today. I have bought it, not for me. I bought it for my dad for Father's Day, because he wanted it. despite me trying to dissuade him. So yeah, his was delivered today, and he instantly went on a moan about how much he'd have to delete off his PlayStation hard drive in order to install it. So, you know, he did say thank you though, so I won't pay him entirely ungrateful, but yes, there was some moaning involved. Anyway, I won't be picking it up. I believe Snare is. So, I mean, if Snare wants to do the honours, then you can expect a review out on the channel at some point. He hasn't finished the first one, to my knowledge, yet, though. So, I don't know whether he's intending to finish that first and then start the second one, or just, I don't know, just go with the second one and ignore, like, not knowing the end of the first one and work it out or whatever. But I won't be picking it up. I mean, if it had just been the leaks... I mean, I've bought games I didn't think I'd like. Some cases I ended up liking them. Some cases I was absolutely right and I hated them. But, you know, you buy them for the channel. I mean, like Watch Dogs 2. I knew I wasn't going to like that game. I didn't like that game. But, you know, had to review it for the channel. But so, you know, if it had just been leaks, I probably would have been like, I'm probably not going to like this. But, you know, I better get it. Do my duty to the channel. And, you know, you never know. Yeah, I could like it. You know, there might be enough in between to like tie the bad story points that I don't like together. But yeah, it wasn't just the leaks though. You had Sony acting like assholes. I mean, they're DMCA YouTube videos that don't even feature the footage. And as far as I'm aware, I'm not a legal expert, but the DMCA actually covers unreleased content as fair use. I'm pretty sure that there's a specific section relating to that. So even if you showed the leaks, you shouldn't have been applicable for a DMCA breach. It's that simple. It's just Sony, Naughty Dog Muso, whoever it was, probably a combination of the three, just being over exuberant with their fucking flags and all that bollocks, and just trying to like curtail the damage the leaks were doing. But I mean, at the end of the day, if the leaks are true, and it turns out they were, then if your game's any good, it's going to hype your game. Unfortunately, it did the opposite of that. And I have seen sort of the blow-by-blow account throughout the game, and it doesn't make it any better, the story. I never really got into The Last of Us, the first one, because of the gameplay. The gameplay was serviceable, but it was always a story that I was digging. Because, you know, I came, you know, after the first 10 minutes, and I don't mind telling you, I blubbed like a bloody child when Sarah got killed in Joel's arms. I was inconsolable. I had to put that down, go downstairs and make some microwavable pasta. That's exactly what I did. But in 2, it's just like these two characters that you've just come to really identify with and respect and feel for. And I think both of them are just giving short shrift in 2 different ways. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything here, but I think what they've done to the characters is not good. I think it was to shoehorn them into a tale that Neil Druckmann wanted to tell. I think he would have been better off doing it in perhaps an original IP where people weren't invested in characters. I think that might have been the way to do it if you wanted to tell that story, rather than take characters that people really cared about and do them dirty, as people say. So there's that. There's also the fact that it's done the classic thing. At the end of The Last of Us 1, Joel makes a decision and you have to rescue Ellie. And when I was playing that, I was desperate to rescue her. I was more desperate than Joel was to rescue her. I would have killed, shot, maimed anything to get that little girl back. I really would have. And the problem is, you come to the second game, and I don't think it's a spoiler when I say it, you play as Ellie, but it's a much older Ellie. It's an Ellie that's, you know, essentially an adult, and I think that's a huge problem. It happened in the Walking Dead Telltale games as well. The first season, I adored the first season, and yeah, the ending was heart-wrenching, and yes, I cried again, shut up. But the second season, when you were actually playing as Clem, it wasn't anywhere near as good, because you didn't have Clem to protect. You were actually Clem and putting her at risk to like be proactive and like take the lead, really. And it loses something for me when I'm not trying to protect this person. I know they introduced like a new child character later on, but I mean, oh man, Clem was so sweet. You know what I mean? It's like in Persona 4, it's like Nanako. Nanako's probably the sweetest girl in any game, like little girl. It's you just want to give her cuddles, and not Lee cuddles, it's just regular cuddles, because she's just so sweet and pure and lovely, and you just want to protect her. And that's exactly the same as I've had for Ellie and Clem. And to be Ellie going out and doing these things and seeing how things progress, I don't really want to do that. I mean, the gameplay apparently isn't much improved from the previous one. And then, as I say, the previous one, the gameplay wasn't particularly great. It was serviceable, but it was really there just to keep me doing something between the story beats, because it was a story I was really interested in. So outside of Sony, Naughty Dog and Muso being rubbish, Neil Druckmann, I don't know what he's thinking. I mean, as I said, if he wanted to do like this whole agenda sort of driven game, I would have done it as an original IP rather than, shitting on characters people really love. You mean at the end of the day, when you've got Anita Sarkeesian coming in and saying, well, what if that one is a woman?
Breakfast ready.
What difference does that make? And he's like, oh, what difference does it make? I better make it a woman then. Well, if it makes no difference, does it matter? Either way. Yeah. If that's the kind of quality instruction she was giving you, mate, you could have left her on the fucking curb. But anyway, guys, I'm not buying it. Snare, I know Snare's definitely getting it. He's probably ordered the statuette version, knowing him. But hopefully he'll put his actual gameplay, because I mean, I could be wrong, it could be great. People have different opinions. I mean, you might play that and think the story is the best thing in the world. I mean, I know it's got a lot of 10 out of 10s. I also know that I would be a lot more comfortable with those 10 out of 10s if they came from outlets that also covered the leaks and the DMCA rampage. The fact that they didn't would indicate to me I wouldn't suggest that they're taking money from Sony or Naughty Dog, but I would suggest there's some benefit to them not covering that end of things. And 10 out of 10. I mean, I know like IGN is a 10 out of 10 scan. It says 10 is a masterpiece, and but it doesn't mean it's not flawless. So that's how they justify it being a perfect game, essentially. I don't really buy that at all. I mean, for me, if it's 10 out of 10, it should be perfect. Because if you have any other scale, you can't sort of view across different reviewers. Because this one might say, oh, 10 out of 10 is perfect. And the other one might say, oh, it's a masterpiece, but it has flaws. And the other one might be, oh, yeah, I liked it. That's why it's 10. Unless you actually have something that's quantifiable, then you can't go across all the platforms and get an actual view as to what the score is. So I don't believe in 10 out of 10 games, personally. And I really don't think this game is a 10 out of 10. Certainly when you read some of the reviews, it sounds... that give it a 10 out of 10 even. You're like, really that? And you're still going with 10.
Yeah,
still.
We get to enjoy his
I don't know, it's a little bit suspicious. I mean, now it's actually out to the public, and we'll actually see like YouTubers and people whose opinion I trust more, and obviously don't get early copies and have that held above them. Then I think we'll see a more fair reflection of the game. I mean, they might be exactly the same. I mean, I just don't want to support the company, and I'm not happy with what they've done with the characters, so I'm not getting it. Mind you, I've given them like 50 odd quid because Dad wanted it. I'm such a good son, I know. But at this point, I'm just like, just give me an excuse not to get a PS5, because I don't want to give this company money, because it's just reprehensible.
I don't want to talk about it.
They're also... they're also up in arms, well, they're causing people to be up in arms about censoring. Sony historically have been pretty hard on the old censors, especially when it comes to like anime. So you get like anime chicks who aren't showing any bits. It's just like an abundant amount of skin. Let's say that. So like no nipples, no Felixes, you know, no buttholes, nothing like that. Just bits of skin. And Sony have been like, yeah, cover that up. Yeah, can't have that. But there's a sex scene in The Last of Us 2 where you see nips, and it's not particularly arousing, so maybe that's why they don't mind it. But it certainly is more explicit than anything else that Sony's sort of censoring. I mean, this happened in Heavy Rain as well. It's like, if it's realistic, it's fine. You can be dirty. But if it's a cartoon, no, that's bad. I just don't get it, you know? I mean, I'm all for dirtiness. Maybe not in Last of Us 2's case. But normally, yeah, I like a bit of perv in my game. What can I say? I'm just like that. So that's a bit weird as well. I mean, they just need to sort out their house, really. I mean, I don't care how good the PlayStation 5 is. The only thing that's going to get me to buy it is maybe Spider-Man. I mean, I've heard UFC 4 is coming to PS4, so I'll be buying it on that platform. Thank you very much. Or EA, you know, if you actually want to start putting those onto PC, I would be very grateful and would love to play it at its best, in its best form, basically. Yeah, I'm that guy. Anyway, guys, I've been rambling far too long, so if you please let me know what you think about any of these subjects down below. Let me know if you like the video. There's a thumbs up, thumbs down, you know, all the YouTubey stuff's over there. You've also got the subscribe button, so, you know, you give it a little flick, you know, try us out for a little while. You can always unsubscribe, right? You just do it. And if you do happen to subscribe, then there's a bell up there as well, which you'll get notifications through, and they will constantly bother you when you're trying to watch other more interesting people. Like, I don't know, paint drying, something like that. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you later.